Good morning. Good morning. If you are seeing this come up in your feed this morning, we are live. I'm Coach Heaven Hansons, CEO of Boss Lady Biz Coach, and so excited to be able to be with you today. Today, we're going to lean in and get things rolling for January. So if you are just seeing this right now come through your newsfeed, and in Born to Influence or in the Kingdom Millionaire, and you are thinking, I need to be able to be on that call right now, hop in. We are going to get started right away. I'm going to open us up in prayer. Father, we thank you so much, Lord. We thank you for the incredible work that you have done inside of us in this process of becoming. We know that we have to be up, to boss up, to bank up. And that, Lord, your word says that we are called, after you blessed us, you said, be fruitful, do multiply, and have dominion. And we decided today that we're going to cut ourselves off from all other outcomes that are not beneficial to us, the ones that do not align with what is in your plans. Father, we choose to go where we're celebrated and not where we're tolerated. And we choose to believe that we are genetically accurate for this assignment. We thank you that we get to. As we go through the process of implementing everything that we need to do to be able to scale our businesses, we have an opportunity to become in the process. And the more that we be, the more that we do, and the more that we can have. Father, we thank you for the people that are praying for us, that we are the solution to their problems. And the only way they are going to get to that other side, to the promised land, is by our solutions. So we thank you for the divine solutions that you have right now for your people. And Lord, we just come to you because we know that there can be a temptation to shy away from the call, that as you expose, you're a gentle father and you expose things for the purpose of healing. Give us the courage to go into those spaces and places and to be able to lean in and listen because we want to be in the arenas that you've called us to. If we are the biggest fish in a room, we need a new room. So, Father, we thank you for all of the incredible outcomes, all of the businesses that are transformed, all of the lives, all of the families, because of the very people that you bring through these doors. In Jesus' precious name, amen and amen and amen. Well, good morning, Lauren. It's so good to see you. I would love to hear a little bit about some wins that you have had over the last time that I saw you.
Oh, good morning. Well,
Good
I'm
morning.
I'm just getting over being sick, so that's a win.
That's
I
a big
was
win.
in, I was in the hospital with pneumonia, but I was listening to you
Oh,
last week, though, even though I wasn't on face to face. I had it on, just didn't want you to see my face.
oh, I'm so sorry. Well, we're glad that you are back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, well, we miss you. When you're not where you're supposed to be, people miss you.
Okay.
Amen. And so you're now probably just leaning into getting things back in order. So where are you at in your process and how can I best help you today?
Okay, so I'm working on my sell by chat. Well, I guess it would be my initial message, and so I sent out a bunch of messages, kind of, and I'm still trying to figure this one out. I sent it out. First one I sent out was I kind of said, "How are what are your goals for the year?" But then it just felt weird getting into that conversation. Um, some of them answered, some of them didn't. Some of them just said Happy New Year, and then I tried to go into conversation, but then I think it was just weird because it felt like the spammy thing, like I was reaching out to them purposely to get to the question of, helping them. Um,
Okay, so it only feels salesy if you don't believe that what you are about to do and the value you're about to bring to somebody is not worth it. I just want to walk you through that for a second because if you're messaging people, right, so you're talking about your sell by chat process, correct?
yeah, but myself, I don't really have it down pat yet. So I guess I'm still trying to figure out the
Right.
process for myself by chat. And I think once I have that system and know better on what to say or do, I'll feel more confident in it, in the process.
Yes. Well, yes and no, Lauren. I would say part of this process is just doing. You've got to do and do, right? Like I talked about in my opening prayer. You've got to be, to do, to have,
Right.
right? And so if we're looking at one aspect of your model, right? Your model for business, you have to look at your attract, convert, your delivery system, and your scale system. So your SPC is part of your process of conversion, right? You're now messaging your to love list. So if there's like 50 people, again, you want to be messaging 50 people a day. Are you going to get it perfect all the time? Is everybody going to be really happy with everything you say? Yes or no?
No.
If that is your metric, you are never going to build a business. And so I hear you because sometimes people say, well, when I get it, when I do it, when it feels like, when people respond, you're setting up a system that is based on how people respond instead of you having dominion in your arena. If you had a pill that everybody could take and would give them 10 years extra on their life, how fast would you want to let people know?
As quickly as possible.
Quickly as possible. You still want to build rapport, right? You still want to do the know, like, and trust. You're still going to want to build rapport. You're still going to want to do what I call, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. You still want to build a relationship. But let's dial into this for a moment because if you are doing the chats and you're leaning into some of what's going on in their mind, aren't you? You're leaning into an old mindset, not I have this thing, right? You have an offer, correct?
Yes.
Right, you have an offer. And in your mind, it needs to be as valuable as that one pill that somebody takes that's going to add 10 years to their life. And if your offer isn't as good as that one pill that's going to add 10 years to their life, then you need to start thinking about, well, maybe it's my offer. But truly part of it is I feel, Lauren, for you because I know you and I love you and you have so many skills, is that you're terrified of going through the valley of suck. Can I get a witness? Is there anybody or any
Oh,
other
yeah.
real people here in the house that don't want to go through the valley of suck? Is there anyone?
Yeah.
Pop in the chat, me. None of us want to go through the valley of suck. But you have to go through the valley of suck. You have to do the reps. That's why I call them dirty reps. Okay? They're dirty reps. It's actually Chris Dufay, who's an incredible coach, and he calls it the dirty 30. You like to get to 30K months, you're doing dirty reps because everything feels awkward, right? Hillary, you're on this call, right? When you go to the gym, the first time somebody does that goes to does a plank, does it look pretty? Their butts in the air. They don't do it all flat, you know? They don't do it flat. They don't hold still. They don't keep their gaze forward and I do planks every single day. So I can honestly say this. So they're not doing it in a good way, are they? Their form is terrible. They look awful. They're overweight. Their guts hanging down to the floor. Can I get some real people in the house? Building a business looks a little bit like that. And you have a choice, right? When you're going through this process, Lauren, you're going here, you're going to eventually have to go through the valley of suck. At some point, it's going to have to happen, right? Because you're implementing quickly. What are all the things you have to do in a day? Tell me all the things. Let's go fast.
Okay, I need to send out 50 message chats a day, have 50 conversations a day. Uh,
Minimum. So the 50 chat starts, right? Because
okay,
the next level, when I teach you in boardroom, you're going to be doing a minimum of 100, and this is going to be automated. You're not ready to be automated. Why aren't you ready to be automated?
because I haven't figured out my actual system completely that works yet.
Yeah. And guess what the way that you figure out your system is?
Going through the valley of suck.
And getting paid. So if you know already to get to here, If you want to get to here and get paid, you got to go through the valley of suck. There is absolutely no way around it. I think I should, what was that, going on a lion hunt? Everybody remember that story you read to your kids? Gonna catch a big one, right? Going on a prospect hunt. Gonna catch a big one. I'm not scared. Are you? Right? Can't go over it, can't go under it. You got to go freaking through it, guys. There's no other way around it. So Lauren, all this stuff that's going on in here, right? It's like it's this mental garbage that actually eventually has to be washed out of you. Because if every time you send a chat, every time you have a conversation with somebody, and you have to go through the mental garbage in the process of, oh, am I salesy? Am I spammy? Am I talking too much? Am I saying too little? Am I too pretty? Am I too fat? Am I too long? Am I too short? If you do that every single day, what's going to happen with you?
I'll stop doing it.
You'll stop doing it. Now, would you say that it's God's or the enemy's plan for you to stop?
The enemy.
The enemy. Guys, this first part here is winning. You got to win the war within you. This first part is winning the war within you. How do you win the war within you? You just set your intention, right? You set your intention. What follows intention? Disruption. Disruption always follows intention. What is the disruption? The disruption is part of your normal day is going to be disrupted, right? I get up at 4. I have certain things that I do. I do Spanish every day. I drink 4 liters of water every day. I go work out every day. I create content every day. I create SOPs and outlines and lists for my team. I delegate tasks. I organize things with my kids. I lead communities. I create content. I have a list of things. So that's my intention. If I'm going along and some numbskull goes, oh, I think you are, fill in the blank, is that going to stop me?
No,
So why are you letting it stop you? Of course, you're going through the chats. You're going through the chats looking to see who is going to be a good fit. That is only wrong if you're going through the chats looking for somebody to sell cocaine to. Is that your model, Lauren? Are you the cocaine service
Uh,
girl?
no, not at
No.
this time.
No. What is your outcome? What's the payoff for somebody working with you? Right? This is the payoff. They get a payoff and you get a payoff. You get paid and they get the thing that they want. Right? An offer, right, is something that is valuable, that it's so valuable so much that the person is willing to let go of the cash in exchange for the offer. Do you have that?
Do I have the cash or payoff yet? Or
Do you have an offer?
oh yes,
Yes. Do you believe in what you do?
I do.
Then you're going to have to say goodbye to people pleasing. It's going to have to just be gone. If every day I waited for people to be pleased with everything that I do and how I do things, not a day passes that if I interact with somebody, they say, it seems like you work a lot. You seem really focused. You show up to hot yoga and you park like 15 minutes early and you're doing all this stuff. Like, yeah, I am. Because I am focused. Disruption is going to follow your intention. So if you are not focused to go through all the mind bats, you got to win all these mind bats. Can I get an amen in the chat? There are mind bats that are assigned to stop you from leaving 97. I really think I want to write this book, Leaving 97. Leaving 97 and going to the 3%. Everything wants to work against you. Your body wants to work against you. Your mind wants to work against you because it's not comfortable, is it? Lauren, is it comfortable sending out the chats?
No, I mean Pepper does help because it's automated, but no, it's not comfortable.
Yeah, but once you have, guys, let's look at the metrics here. My system works. Every 30 that you're going to send out, you're going to book a triage call. So you know that. Could we stop attaching emotion to sending out 30 messages? That's like taking up brain space, Lauren, to worry about one of your ex-boyfriends who abused you. Are you gonna take up some of that mental real estate that you have to give over to being concerned about people that aren't concerned about you? If they think you're salesy, that is on them. That is not on you. You have to remember anybody who thinks that it's salesy doesn't understand what a sale is. And likely will give access to anyone who comes along. Any Tom, Joe, Harry, anybody, do, 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 do. I'm wandering on my path because, oh, I talked about this with my kids this weekend. I forgot to say. Without a vision, the people what? What does the Bible say, Lauren?
Perish.
Perish. Anybody know what perish means? Put up your hand. My kids are going to, well, they're not here, but they'd all be waving their hands. What does perish mean? Guys want to know what it means? You're ready for this? You ready for this? I don't have the song behind me. I love songs. Come on, Nicole. Do. I like pump it up before I get on this call. Can you guys tell? Or any call that I have. Without a vision, the people perish. Perish means die violently. Woo! Perish means die violently, Lauren. Without a vision. So do you have a vision? Do you have an offer?
I do.
Okay. You know your signature anointing? You know who your signature client is?
I
You know
do.
your signature transformation?
I do.
You know your signature offer?
I do.
You are ready to go through the valley of suck. You so ready? You smell ready, girl. Okay? Valley of suck doesn't stink. The valley of suck is where the very best of you comes alive. You don't even know what you got, guys, till you go through the valley of suck. Do 1 year, 4 hours a day, sell by chat. 1 year, 50 message, 100 messages on all platforms. Post every day. Talk to people. Talk to people. Do 10-minute calls. You're in here, busy, doing the dirty reps. You're doing the plank version of business. You're doing the 10-minute call. You're doing the strategy call. You're doing SBC, right? Because the goal isn't for you to do this for the rest of your life, is it, Lauren? What's the goal?
To hire somebody.
To hire someone. So do you think when you're training your person to do your sell by chat and to do messages, do they want a leader who's going, well, if you message one person and they feel a little bit like we're being salesy or like maybe we're not so kind that day, then just call it a day. Is that how you're training your person, Lauren?
No.
No, you're like, hey, girl, we doing 30 in the morning, we doing 30 at night. And we know we got 2 triages. And for every 2 triage, we are closing 1 sale. Anybody like my math? Put a yes in the chat. That is some good math. So you got 1 close. Everybody, put how much is your price point? What's your price point? 10, 5,000, 15,000, 100,000. What's your price point? Put it in chat. Is it worth it to do 30 chats and risk people thinking you're not there to coddle them and to sing them bedtime songs and bring them a glass of water and tell them everything's all right because their current solution for their problem is to ignore it? How's that working for your people, Lauren? Their current solution is ignoring their problem. That's their current solution, guys. All your people, they're overweight, they're ignoring it. Nicole? They don't want to do 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes of plank. They don't want to grow in their business. They don't want to leave that cushy job, Lynn, because their current solution is to avoid solving the problem. And your messaging and your marketing and your sell by chat process and your triage call and your strategy call and your content and every single thing that you do and show up in, everyone here, talking to Lauren, but I'm talking to everyone, and you two out there on the YouTubeosphere, on the Facebookosphere, on the Instagramosphere, I'm talking to you. You have a solution and everything in your life needs to line up with it. But Lauren, guess what? And everyone else here, you got your old self and you got your new self. And there is a war going on between those two. And the valley of suck is you're wrestling with who do I think I am that I'm asking for this? Who do I think I am? But Lauren, once you've sold 10 of those, what's your price point again? 5K?
It is.
5K. Sold 10. You made 50,000. You have proof of concept. Everybody write proof of concept in the chat. You have your minimum viable product. After selling 10 of those, any numbskull who comes to you or anybody on your path, Lauren, that says, this doesn't work, this isn't going to work, who do you think you are? You're not really great. Are you going to listen to them anymore? Are they going to be allowed in your mental real estate? Yes or no?
No.
No. Guys, you've spent your whole life listening to people that say things that are not actually helpful for you. I remember, okay, I got blonde hair, blue eyes when I was in school. I remember going to my guidance counselor and you have the conversation about like what are you going to do with your life? Anybody remember that? Like what on earth is that? You go to see some guy who's in a midlife crisis who doesn't know anything from anything and he's about to tell you what you're going to be for your life. That's a whole other conversation. Okay, we got to make sure we train our children. We are not having them go through that. So Mr. Verhovey, sorry if you're listening, looked like a frog. He literally looked like a frog. He went like this during the conversation. I was like, what is he doing? Is he catching flies that I don't even see? Okay. And he says to me, well, my name was Barber one time. And he said, have you thought of being a hairdresser? I said, I get 97 in calculus. Why am I going to be a hairdresser? Like, tell me what tells you that I should be a hairdresser. Well, your last name's Barber and you're just so pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay. We don't want to listen to anything that doesn't align. Guys, I'm talking to Lauren, but I'm talking to all of you. Stop listening to things that don't align with your highest call. It is a season for you to absolutely, completely starve it. What does starving look like? You don't think about it, right? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, by the washing of the word, Romans 12:1. You need to renew your mind. Lauren, you've got to be willing to leave these people. You have to place everything you're doing in this reality. This is your reality. The other stuff isn't your reality. So you've got to just feel awkward until you become the new version of you. Everything you want, guys, everyone here, everything you want is on the other side of a difficult conversation. Everything. You want a new car? You're going to have to negotiate. You want a new house? You're going to have to negotiate. You want a spouse? You want to win someone over to the Lord? You're going to have to learn how to communicate. So, Lauren, it's not, don't go by your feelings. Everyone here. You're going by the belief in your identity in Christ. You're going by what he has called you to in your signature anointing. You're going to fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and finisher of your faith. You're not fixing it on, Susie in the chats who is making less money than you are. She's depressed and overweight and anxious. Do the chat. Pre-qualify. Build rapport. Do your opener. Ask questions. If she doesn't qualify, then you say, goodbye, Susie. Everybody wave bye to Susie right now. Bye, Susie. See how that wasn't painful? We're all saying goodbye to Susie. Everyone here, are you guys done with old ways? Yes, in the chat.
I'm done.
Done, right? I call it a reverse bucket list. You want to live your reverse bucket list, Lauren. What are those things on there? You want to give away everything that's in you before you go, right? You want to serve all the people you can before you go. Yes?
Yeah.
Are you willing to receive all God has for you now? Or are you going to wait for it in the sweet by and by sometime down the road when you go to be with Jesus in heaven. You
Yep,
get to
land of the
choose,
living.
right? So, Lauren, I want for homework for you. May I coach you on this?
Yes, please.
I want you to lean back into the $1 Million Daily and go, you know what? This works. You guys saw on the last call. If Carolyn can replace her executive income in a short period of time, and Lori Lane Dixon, if they can all go to 20K months, 40K months, if these people can have this happen, but when I'm teaching you to go to 10, 15K months, is because I'm being conservative, because I know what's possible. This works, Lauren. So if you work it, what's going to happen? Guys, everyone write this down. Two things happen. You start working the system, and the system works on you. What do you mean by that, Coach Heaven? Well, either the system that you're working on the system's working on you, or it's working for you. It's working on you, or it's working for you. And during this process of working on you or for you, you're going to have seasons of it. Right now, it's working on you, Lauren. Do you want to compress that time frame? Yes or no? Everyone here, you can choose.
Yes.
Then you can't go by what people say. You have to fix your eyes on the prize. Fix your eyes on, because when you bring somebody the solution, their life is going to be changed forever, and you're going to be paid in exchange. That's what an offer is. You have to let go, Lauren, of people pleasing. Guys, everyone here, this is something you're struggling with, put it in the chat. I say goodbye to people pleasing now in Jesus' name. If you're not willing to let that go, you're not going to be able to keep working on it, because otherwise the system won't work, because it's always working on you, not for you. Everybody understand the difference? There will be moments, right? You'll get through this process, Lauren. You'll do the chats. Do them every day. Keep chatting, keep pre-qualifying. Get to the place where you can have a 10-minute call to pre-qualify them, and then bring it into a strategy session, and then enroll them and onboard them into your program and start working with them. They're going to start having results. And keep repeating this. Don't stop. Fix your eyes. Stop waiting and stop listening to other people. You are the person in authority, Lauren. So, homework, go back to the $1 Million Daily and make a commitment in the chat. Do a video of yourself in BTI saying, here I am. I'm recommitting. This is my January Jumpstart. I recommit to do the $1 Million Daily.
Okay.
All right. I haven't
Okay.
announced anything yet. This is the first time I'm even going to say it. But I have been creating for the last, how long now, Christian? 5 weeks? 5 weeks, 6 weeks? I am getting ready to teach and train called the $1 Million Challenge. And it's going to operate every single month. Those people in boardroom are going to have access to how to do everything. They're going to have the templates. They're going to have the sales boss suite. They're going to have photos done for them. So you want to join me in that? Lynn's already in it. You want to join me in that? Get signed up right away. You will have the whole thing for you to be able to do. Who would like to do $1 million of sales every month? Anybody? Or do you guys want the slow way? We're going to take the slow way, and we're going to listen to everyone on the way. Okay? Yeah, everyone who has something to say bad about us or wants to critique us, we're just going to slow down. No, you're not. Lauren, I want a commitment from you. I want you to tell everyone here, you have done amazing things. I know your story. Talk about your story. Share how you're going to help. Share what you're doing. You trained 600 people, girl. Stop. Listen. Do you think in the military, these guys stop and go, oh, sorry, sorry. I didn't mean to touch your elbow while I was rescuing you from the burning coals and flames? They don't. Lauren, your person without you, they are not ever going to change. And guys, every time you believe that somebody else is doing the thing or there's somebody else who's better, those are lies from the enemy. You are the only person who's called to do what you're called to do. Oh, the only one. And your people hear your voice just like you hear mine, right? You guys signed up for some SaaS. You want the Bible SaaS Academy, okay? Business Bible SaaS. That's what we're at today, guys. But your people hear your voice. They resonate with you. Lauren, I want a declaration from you before we move on. Share with us.
I commit to restarting in January for January doing the $1 million daily
Amen.
and
Okay?
not worrying about what people say or do.
Don't put your head down, girl. Put your head down. We need some more time together, Lauren. You got to just put yourself, guys, in this hut. You got to have a bubble for a season. Guys, do you think I didn't have those people? You have to remember, at one time I had 10 kids under the age of 13. I lost everything and had a massive, huge family. I had to totally start over my whole life. What did I have? I had the ability to choose. I had the ability to decide. I had the ability to study. I had the ability to buff up my body. I had ability to get my mind in gear. I had ability to harness my resources and look what was in my hand and decide I was going to multiply. Did I have more than two people ever go, yeah, that sounds awesome. You're amazing? Or did most people like commiserating and trying to bring you back down? When you're trying to leave 97, you're going to have most of the people want you to stay behind. They don't want you to move on. They don't want you to get wealthy. So move on without them, Lauren. We have each other, don't we, guys? We have each other. This is a huge blessing. And if you have one or two really strong friends and a team eventually that can help you, that's all you need. All right. I'm proud of you, Lauren. Lynn, I'm going to bring you in. Hey, girl. So happy to see you. Want to share some wins? Oh, you're muted, love. Sorry. I hear you there.
Can you hear me?
I hear you. Good.
All right.
Hello.
Mm. So I have gotten through 3/4 of my accountability list.
Amazing.
And and I will finish that today. So
Amazing. That's so
um,
good. So share with
uh,
some of those things that are on there that you are smashing away at.
um, let me pull that list up.
Yeah, no worries at all. Because you are just going through everything, aren't you? You're kind of working at fast pace, I would say. That's exciting.
Well, sometimes I feel like I'm behind, but I'm just doing obviously what I can going through. I am the sample offer template. I've finished that. I'm in the process of I set up the Facebook group and am in the process of engaging with that. I'm in the I've gone through the sell by chat. I'm wanting to do that a second time because there's a lot there. And I want to make sure that I do it correctly and right. And uh, setting up Pepper.
Okay.
That will be my focus today.
That's awesome. I mean, those are really good things. And I hear you and everyone else here too. Like we so much want to be really good at this already. And wanting to be already be on the other side, right? Then a couple things that end up happening is you don't enjoy the journey. And I want you guys to enjoy this journey. Enjoy that you are having revelations about yourself that does is like, I didn't know that about myself, or I didn't realize I took so long at this, or I didn't realize I was fast at this. On the daily, everybody, right? I've shared like The Gap and the Gain, a book by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. It's on my list of my top 100 for this year, is, or for last year, right? Is just at the end of the day, everyone, this is Lynn too, celebrate yourself. Like
Mhm.
say, hey, these are the three gains that I've done, and not despise the day of small beginnings,
Mhm.
right? Because there's that
Yes.
tendency. What do you feel like you need most, Lynn, to move things forward? Is there anything that feels, I mean, everything will feel kind of clunky until you start to move it forward.
Right. And that's exactly where I'm at, is it does feel clunky, uneasy, whatever you want to say, sucky sometimes. Um, I can navigate IT pretty well, but I am having trouble with my Zoom, and it's just, and so it's those little things that I try to just press through, not doing it perfect, right? But like I had everything set up this morning so I could be on time, and then I had technical stuff with the Zoom, and then I'm late, and I don't like that.
And
And
part of
so,
that is you've just got to give yourself the grace,
right, right.
right? Because you're probably, this is, guys, all of you have been in corporate. You could probably do it in your sleep. Like a lot of the things you're like, yeah, I can, whatever it is. No, it doesn't matter how complicated. If you were really good at it, you're at a high pay level, and then you're making a transition, everything's going to feel super awkward. So celebrate yourself as you have the gains. And really, Lynn, for you, just like the dirty reps, be like, I'm following that $1 million daily. I'm going to have that where I could do it in the sleep. And somebody could wake me up in the middle of the night and say, okay, I'm going to add people to your group. How many do I, hit the invite button with? And you're just like, you just got it.
Hmm.
Okay. Same with posting content, having this rhythm. A number of reasons, everyone, I want you to see this is if you're following it, right? If you're following the strategy and the plan, then you have something that is duplicatable. And when it's duplicatable, then you are able to create. And often you won't have to do as much, because if you have a team, they have access to everything that I teach, that your team can then be taught and take over, and you can do a handoff. I actually created the handoff training that I'm going to teach in boardroom. Um, and just what does the handoff look like? And I was talking to Nicole about this, because Nicole is an athlete, and I know Hillary is as well. I'm not saying you guys, other of you aren't. I just know that those two are, right? It's just like in a relay race, like you're passing that baton to somebody.
Hmm.
As a founder, you want to have that first 10% of you being super clear with your instructions, your direction, the teaching, the training, the SOP, the playbook. This is what done looks like. And so, Lauren, this is with you too. Like you do the chat, so you get really good at it, and you go, wait, that chat produced a sale. Now, when you have a team, you can go back and look at the chat and say, okay, this was the conversation we had. Let's get that all in boards and let's work that. That works. Okay. So the only people that act as though that is wrong, right, are broke people. Are you guys hearing me? You're never going to get flack from above. Okay? Blowback, kickback, people not believing in you always comes from below.
Yes.
Right? So people above you will always encourage you and be like, you got this, stay in the race, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So part of it is give yourself permission, Lynn, to be messy. And anyone else
Hmm.
who struggles with it, like I always tell people, I'm a recovering perfectionist. I really am. Like I truly can walk by dishes and not do them, because for a season when I was growing my business, and this is Nicole and anyone else who has kids, is like the craziness, the so much happening, the kids banging on whatever, doing whatever. I had to just be like, this is cool, man. This is awesome. I just had to make a decision like, this is great. And make sure that what's on my list to move the needle in my business happened every day. And then you get to a place where it's happening and you're making the money and you offload to someone else. And then you don't have to do the things you never wanted to do in the first place. But you got to go through the valley of suck. You got to go through the living room being a mess. Either you hire somebody now or you just bite your lip and do the work and put up with it for a season.
Mhm.
This is for you too, Hillary. Like I tell people that I don't even know what kind of washer dryer I have, and I never have turned it on. I have no idea. I have never done laundry in my new home. Not once. But I was intentional about it, Hillary. I was intentional, Lauren. You guys are choosing, right? Remember, did anybody go to university? Remember the university days where you're like, oh, it's exam time. Let's bake brownies. Oh, it's exam time. Let's clean up our desk, right? In the entrepreneurial world, we have the same thing that happens. Okay, got to do the chats. Oh, look, I think I need to clean under that couch over there. You have to say no. You have to keep saying no, keep saying no. And don't wait for people around you to say, oh, I see it. Guys, it absolutely makes me laugh so much when people who did not support me at all say, "Oh, I always knew."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Really? That's that's your first comedy show that you're going to do because you never showed up once looking like you really cared." But can I tell you something? The people that really believed in me, I send letters to, I send flowers to, I buy presents for, I donate money to the causes that they have. Because I'm like, you stood by me in a season when, man, nobody did. Come on, can I get the real people? Everybody put yes
Yes.
in the chat. Yes, right? So, Lynn, you're
Yes.
looking for duplicatable systems, but you're
Yes.
not trying to get it duplicatable today. Lauren, you're not
Right.
going to have it duplicatable today. Nobody else.
Right.
You start your best. I'm giving you amazing training. You have to picture when I did sell by chat, I was like, my whole I had nothing to go by. I thought I invented sell by chat, right? Because to me I was like, hey, how about I just don't do anything online that I wouldn't do offline? That was kind of my guidelines. I thought I'm just going to treat people well. I know how when I'm in person, I'm fun and I'm great to be around. So I'm like, I'm just going to be that in chat. You guys are amazing. All of you. I know each one of you. Be that in chat. Show up. Ask questions. Investigate of your person. Have total care about their life. You know, if they think you're doing something, it's on them. Let them own it. Facebook group. What's your Facebook group name, Lynn?
I haven't gotten that yet.
That's okay. So so homework, guys. Lynn, I want you to put like 3 options into BTI today.
Okay.
Just do, and everybody's going to do a video today, I've decided. So I already have asked Lauren to keep herself accountable, but just get your phone and just do a video. Hey guys, Coach Heaven has asked me, I want him showing up today. I would like to know 3 options for a Facebook group. And these are the 3 names. I've put them here in chat. I'd love you guys to vote. Okay.
Okay.
Every one of you. This is what I find, guys. When you're leaving, when you're growing your business and leaving 97, you don't ask questions. You don't ask for help. You don't ask questions. Get in the habit of anytime you listen to any recording, anytime you're listening to a podcast, anytime you listen to me teach, think about your own world and write from your world. Write what's going on inside of you. So do that for homework to get that in there. The chats, Lynn, just start chatting people. Do it terribly.
Okay.
Listen to Sell by Chat. Once you, like tonight, get Pepper up and running. If you need help, reach out to Christian. Okay.
Okay.
But get Pepper running and then just start an opener. Another thing you can do too, guys, another one, you're like, hey guys, I'm struggling with what opener to have. Does this sound good? Would you respond to this? These are my 3 openers. These are my 5 openers. Lauren, do that today as homework. These are my openers. Boom, 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 boom. Which one do you like best? Now you can take those, Lynn, to or anybody here. You can pop that into Chat GPT, but you have to be careful because some of the stuff sometimes it's just like just so dumb. Some of the
Yeah.
things, right? You're just like, I don't swear, but if I could, I would swear at Chat GPT. Like the things that Chat GPT says, sometimes I'm like, what, huh? How is that even yeah, like I'm like, I want a heartfelt, kind, rapport building opener. And then they ask two really weird questions back to back in the same. You only ask one question at a time, guys. So do it badly, Lynn. Like do like follow my model,
Mhm.
but if you say, "Hey, first name, curious what's your one word from God for 2025?" That's not awful. Some people will respond. Some people won't. Track your metrics, Lauren, but don't attach. So guys, let's think about this. I had this revelation, I think it was last month I told my team, but when you're tracking numbers and it has these little tiny boxes, right? Everybody, right? Like how many chat starts? You did 50 you did 50 chats. I had 4 people respond. I had, 2 people book a triage and I booked a strategy call. Do you know why the boxes are so small, Lauren, Lynn? Because there's no room to write your feelings in there. There's no room to write, feeling really bad, like I'm not really sure if they really like me. It's not grade 7. We're not in grade 7. This is building a business. This is
Yeah.
scaling to 1 million. It's worth it. So, so go back, do the video, Lynn,
Okay.
offer some options for people, come up with your opener in your sell by chat process. Because the beautiful thing about the opener is people will respond and then you have to do something.
Okay.
Don't do it in a vacuum. Practice. Just practice it, practice it, practice it. Get Pepper set up. Get things running so that you're starting to go into the groups and you're starting to find some people. And let's have a name. I know I'm going to talk to you on Friday, but let's have a name. Let's have that figured out.
Okay.
And keep drilling into your offer. Again, guys, you just want a crappy first draft of everything because everything is going to be changing. You're going to tweak as you go. You're going to mature. You're going to become a different person than you used to be. Make space for her. I know you are, Lynn. Does that help, Lynn? Is that a good
Yes. Yes.
good
Very much
amount
so.
to run with?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Super
Thank
thankful
you.
that you're here. You betcha. All right. Hillary, come on in. You're the next contestant. How are you?
I'm here. Gosh, I feel out of connection with this.
It's okay. It's all right. So, and I'm not coddling you. I'm saying it's okay. It's all right because part of it is you guys haven't figured out you haven't got a system running, right?
Yeah,
So you need a system that's running and you need it to be running daily that can bring in cash and that you have it going. You're in the process of it becoming, right? Becoming is messy. You're still like managing your 4 kids. You've got your job. Like there's so many pieces. And then you're like, oh, and then you're exhausted. And then you go, okay, wait a second. I got to build this business thing.
yeah.
So if I'm hearing you right, it sounds like you need to know like what are the like and again, I feel like I didn't add extra into the training and I don't overbook you guys with 5 million modules because I want you to master. What is mastery, right? Being able to do that very thing without the use of conscious resources. I want you to have
Mm-hmm.
mastery in sell by chat, mastery in content creation, mastery in your sales process. So what would help you, Hillary, to make sure that you're doing the very things every single day, whether it's Christmas, whether it's New Year's, whether your kid's barfing all over the front hall. What do you need so that that keeps going every single day and that you're closing sales and you're leaving your job?
So I think the chaotic mind does nothing. And I am a systems person. And I sat and I started running Pepper and I was starting chats. And then I had people interested. And I've identified two things that have stopped me from jumping on it. One, I don't know how to talk about my offer and invite them in. And part of that is I don't have a community built up. I've made these Facebook groups and they're essentially empty. And so and it's that, I think you said at the beginning about the ugly plank. It's just going to have to be ugly. And I've got to get over that. But maybe you have more insight as well because you've done it. And I haven't.
Yes, but I went through it too. That's why I'm talking about it. I remember. So the Kingdom Millionaire, years and years ago, used to be called Kingdom Entrepreneur Scaling from Rest, right? And then before that, it was called Shift with Sheila. Okay, talk about the worst Facebook group name ever. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing. Like I think it's gonna work. And this is before people were doing any of this. Okay. I felt like I was I was the trailblazer in all of these things because I did all this manually. But to think, we look at this right now because what will happen, Hillary, is once I tell you the answer to this, with your permission, may I coach you?
Oh, absolutely.
And once you know the answer, you're going to have the real things come up, what's really going on.
Okay.
Okay. Because it's like what Lauren was saying. Like she's saying, well, I feel awkward and I feel like I'm being salesy. What really is going on is I don't believe I'm worth it. And you will stay in the loop of a lack of identity and lack of belief in self until you make a decision, right? What does decision mean, guys? What does decide mean?
To cut off.
Cut yourself off from all other outcomes. So until you make your decision that isn't who you are, and you trust that you have the identity, not the lie identity, you have the identity of Christ, of who he's called you to be in the signature anointing, and you say, well, I haven't done it yet. Like when God was building the world, did he go, let there be, oh no, I can't say that. I haven't done it before. Did God call his therapist and say, I need to have a conversation because I haven't built this before? Is there someone out there beyond God who I can talk? No, he didn't do any of that. He's like, let there be light. Let there be a firmament. Let there be waters that will part the firmament. Let be the heavens and the earth. You don't see in between. And God had a little mini nervous breakdown. Oh, God had to go call his girlfriend and find out, like, hey, I'm really anxious about this. I'm feeling a little nervous. I haven't done this before. So you're going to have to leave familiar. You have to leave the island of familiar. So I can teach you, right? Because I teach you all throughout. So talking about your offer, you're never talking about your offer in chat, and you don't talk about your offer in the 10-minute call. Has anybody noticed that?
And I was thinking about that. You were saying something earlier, and I forget what, because there's always so much meat in this.
Thank you.
There's like 18 chunks of meat back. That sounds gross, but I think you know what I mean.
Oh, I love me some meat. So you're talking to the right person, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
But I kind of came up with like, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. The woman, like I had a woman reach out on my post and she's like, I need more info. The answer is to go forward and ask her about herself. I don't even know this woman. She's a new friend on
Yeah. So
Facebook.
let me help you design this right now. Is that okay? Because I want to
Yes.
help you with specifics because you have a situation. So helping you with specifics is then going to help you to make it transferable for a sell by chat process with other people. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. So first, I'm just going to do a technical thing. Group, everyone here, you have a button on your Facebook group that says invite. Everyone? You have a button in your
Yeah, I know
Facebook
where
group that says invite, right? You
I've
go
stared at
to,
that button.
yeah, and you're going to not be afraid of it. If you need to block the lady at church that told your kid that they need to wear shoes or their mom and daddy don't really love them, you block her on Facebook. You stop being friends with these people. They never were your friends. Okay? That's actually a true story. I had a lady talk to my baby who was wearing dirty nylons because she was in the crawling stage. Anybody have kids here? And so her nylons were all dirty. And somebody at church was like, oh my goodness, if your mommy really loved you, you would have some pretty tights on and probably shoes too. Like I was
Mm.
ready to sign her up for the slapathon. You know, if we could have a Christian slapathon, I would be there. I will be the leader of the Christian slapathon. Okay, I'm done my rant. All right. But if you look at, right, you just go right into your group. You have that invite button. How many are you supposed to hit every day? Everyone here, put it in the chat. 40. Nicole knows it. Don't do them all at once. So do 10 and then a couple hours later do another 10 or do 20 and then if you're not adding all the time, you don't want to give any red flags to Facebook. So spread it out throughout the day for the first while, but don't miss doing that. If Hillary, if you have to have, and you're a systems person, so have the $1 million daily all here. And if it helps you, take some sticky notes, everyone. And let's say it's like invite to group 10, 10, 10, and 10. And then once you've done one, you take the sticky note off and
Mhm.
throw it in the garbage, or take the sticky note off, put it on the other side here, so that you're constantly having, I actually have a whiteboard here. But if you had just take the note and you put it over here, right? Then later you just put it
Mhm.
back up here, what you're going to do. Okay, does that help? So to add to the group, I don't care if you have nobody in it. Guys, do you really care how many people are in a group? Everyone here. You don't really care, right?
Mm-mm.
Because if somebody has 80 million followers or 8 people in the group, if you like them and you feel seen and heard, you don't really care. Everyone, come on. Like, and it's false, right? I know tons of people who have hundreds of thousands of followers and make no money, right? You want to get rich, not famous. Amen?
Yes.
Come
Yeah.
on, everyone, rich, not famous. Because famous people, you know, they gotta have like this whole thing around them to protect them all the time. I know because Justin Bieber goes like he grew up in my church. When he comes to visit, right, he's got to have this whole group of people around him. All right. So you're adding people to the group. We're just going to check that off. Hillary's going to do a video today about all these things. She's going to go ahead and say that. So you have somebody who says, "Oh, I want more information," and Hillary freezes. Is that where we're at?
That is where we're at.
Okay. So in your journaling time, guys, all of you, the stuff that goes on in the inside, don't push it down. Allow it to come up, but give it space in some other time in your week, not in the business structure of your day. So, give yourself some time, like whether it's like in the morning and you want to journal, like, why does it bother me? Why do I feel nervous? Why am I? And lean in, look up scriptures about it. Okay. But when you're feeling emotional about that, don't let it stop you from doing the process. You just keep doing it. You go, I'm trusting this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. So when she says that, this is why, Hillary, I have all of you create the PDF and a magnet video. So those are your next two things that you need to get done today.
My magnet. I've got my PDF. I don't have my magnet video.
Okay, and your PDF, everyone, you must have your price in there.
I do. I had yours up the whole time I made mine and was like, okay.
Good.
Making sure I had those blocks of information that I found valuable in yours.
I'm so glad. Yes. And even copy how I have like the triangle in there, everybody, like that shares about like we start here and we have this. Now I have different PDFs. Some of you may have got a beautiful one that was pretty and it's because you're right brained. Some of you got like a big sheet of things, Lynn. Some of you are more left brained. And so I have and you don't have to do that now. So everybody don't do it now, but I have a right and a left brained PDF because I don't want all these pretty pictures and things for somebody who's just like, give me the thing. Just let it all be written out for me. Okay. You can still have some drawings. And new this year for boardroom is new, but new for boardroom, I'm also going to be teaching on how to scale with models. So all this stuff that I teach on here, I don't teach in BTI, but I teach in boardroom how to do the closes and models. Okay. But your PDF, you need just to have your PDF there, you're ready. You don't want to just pop it in chat ever, right, Hillary? So if the person says, hey, I want to know more information, I'd love to work with you. Do you know enough information about her to work with her?
No, I know nothing. I know her name, and she said, info, please.
Exactly. So that's the whole purpose of when we do a magnet post, right? So I might do a magnet post, hey, I've got this thing, or hey, I'm looking for this person, whatever it is you're saying. The person may DM you lead magnet. The person may DM you info, please. So you always, guys, everyone write this down. You just start your sell by chat process. Just follow your system. Everyone, write in chat, follow the system. You just follow the system because you don't know enough. So right away, like if your opener is something that would be awkward that you put in next, then don't do that. But you could say, hi, hi, Samantha, great to meet you. And then hit send. You want to think of, Gunner is 13, Bella is 13. You want to think about how they text, right? They're like, yup. You maybe not want to say yup. That drives me nuts. Anybody else hate yup? It's like, yup. Like that's all you could say. I like write all this stuff, made you a beautiful lunch or we're having steak tonight. We're having people over, blah, 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 blah. Yup. Okay. So don't say yup, but you want to think like a 14-year-old. Okay. You just want to be like, hey, Samantha, great to connect with you. Send. Because then it doesn't look like a bot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want it to look like a bot. Then you say, hey, thanks for your interest. Send. Okay. So now you're not some spammy, right? You're just having a conversation. Lauren, I think you're going to love my process once you start doing it more because you guys will see, I call it permission based marketing. You will see how much I honor the other person. Just like right now, I'm asking you guys, may I coach you? You're thinking, of course you can, but I still ask. Are you guys with me? You
Mm-hmm.
still want to ask and chat, right? So thanks for your friend, thanks for your request for information and then send. Then you say to, then you could write a little bit about you if you want. So you could put in your I help statement right then. Or because part of it is, guys, and this is for everyone, please make a note of this. When someone asks for your information, sometimes, you make an assumption that they know what you do.
Mm.
Because I've had people say, oh my goodness, you're so inspirational, you're so motivational, I would love to work, I'd love you to be my life coach. I'm like, I'm not a life coach. Yes, I will help iron out your life issues when you're building your business. Absolutely. But I'm not a life coach. So, you want to be able to ask pre-qualifying questions. So, Hillary, what are your 3 pre-qualifiers? And that isn't for you to answer right this second. What are your 3 pre-qualifiers? Okay, because you're going to post it in the group um, when you're wanting to decide if it's a good fit to hop on a call. Okay, so she's saying info, please. You don't want to send the info. So I know this seems like, well, why not? Because content without context brings confusion. Everyone write that down. Content without context brings confusion, right? If you just send her, you send her your thing. So guys, I want you to remember that I'm teaching you in BTI to have an ascension model. You don't know that because you're in BTI. So I'm teaching you to have a hero program, something that's 12 weeks, that's around 5K. Some of you may have already an MRR, which is a monthly recurring revenue. And then you'll eventually have a VIP level. It's going to take some time to grow and to build and to create the assets and have the delivery system and all of this good stuff. But I have a plan in mind for you. So you don't want to assume that she is here and Hillary, could be a VIP person. You don't know anything. And so you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to make an assumption. Is this working? Come on, pen. You don't want to make an assumption. Oh, my. Okay, Christian's going to help me. You don't want to make an assumption that you know what she wants. Everyone here, write that down. You know, we all know about the whole line about an assumption, what it makes out of you and I. So we don't want to do that. You want to ask the questions, and you still need to build rapport. So even if she says info, please, people buy what, guys? People buy emotionally, and they back it up logically. So if somebody says info, please, and you just say, here's all my logic, what just happened?
Yeah, you skip the emotion. And I think it puts you in this service, like you're just, they say jump and you say hi, how high.
Yes, exactly. And you are not, you're right, you're not valuing your oil. You're not pre-qualifying. You are, you know, you're just leaning into, right? You're just making a change for them, or adjusting for them, and you just don't know enough information. And people buy emotionally, they don't buy logically, they back it up logically later. Even
Mm.
left brain people, they may want the Google Doc, but their heart has to leap. You know, like Lynn, I even think about us. Like you're like, ah, love the boss hat. Oh my gosh, she's going on some crazy adventure again. Wow, how does she do that? She's home. She's got all these kids. Look at, she's wearing this cool outfit. Like there has to be, guys, all these things going on for your person to say yes. If it was just a Google Doc, then if it's just a your info, please, then they can get that anywhere, can't they? People want experiences. They want outcomes, but they also want to really have a great experience. Now, that's different for each person, it's different for each avatar, and it's different for you. But you need to be clear about what that is. So people buy emotionally, to back it up logically. You're having an ascension model for your offers. But you're starting with your one offer now, Hillary, so we can get you to a certain level so you can leave your work, and you've got to be able to fund this. So you're only thinking high ticket. You're only thinking in the way of working with with people that are going to pay attention. They're going to pay for your services. They're going to be likable, and they're going to be coachable. So your qualifiers come after rapport. So part of this, Hillary, is asking some questions that are going to build some rapport. So as you're starting to get this going, you could even send her a voice message because you have a bandwidth for it. Now, I can send 50 voice messages a day, and it's totally fine to me. Some people might be overwhelmed. But you can send a voice message, Hillary, that says, because that's going to help her. And in your best energy, you know, hey, Samantha, so great to connect with you. You know, curious, what prompted you to want some more information, right? That's kind of normal, wouldn't you guys say? Like if you were with somebody
Mhm.
in a Toastmasters meeting, it wouldn't be weird to say that to someone. So you could even start with that. And she may right away, because you want to build rapport, everyone. And eventually you have that person. Oh my goodness, this thing is happening again. There we go. It's working. You build rapport so that then you can pre qualify, so that then you can book the triage call. You're not at any time going, here's my thing, blah, 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 blah. Here's all the things that I do, and I help the thud factor. Then that person is snoozed out and checked out, and they're no longer part of the conversation. So, Hillary, ask her questions about her, and can she just keep the process going? Go back to my sell by chat training, rewatch that.
Okay.
Okay. But don't delay. Just don't delay. When we delay, like we're putting off, you know, the payoff for that other client when you delay getting in touch with somebody. But also not just delaying like that. Like for yourself, your person could easily go, well, you know, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. So your person is thinking like, why aren't they
Mhm.
showing up? Like I want help. Okay. So could do a voice message. Your voice message can later be put into boards, right? If once you have a format, you can put it into boards. But go just dial back in. Thanks for your request, or thanks for the request for information. You know, curious. Are you looking for some help around whatever it is you do? Curious, are you looking for some help around? Or are you just here for the whatever, good vibes or the fun or whatever it is that they caught from you, right? Or if you're like, I want to know more right now, I'm just going to ask her a question through the voice message, then she may send you the love letter. As soon as you get the love letter from your client, everyone, what's the love letter? Love letter is a long, lengthy story about their life. I was on a call last night and somebody said, how do I stop getting a person's just like, they want to go on and on and on about stuff. And I was like, that is exactly what you want. Like, why would you stop that? That it makes me mad. But it's because I want to become the best person that I can become on the path of training my people. I'm not interested for the shortest path. And I'm not teaching you to have the shortest path of your own development, but I want you to have the shortest path as possible to monetizing. Okay? I want you to really get into what God is showing you, but I don't want you to stop the momentum of your business. The
Mhm.
love letter is her giving you permission. She's saying, I feel safe with you, right? Again, you go back to the know, like, and trust. She's saying, I trust you. Or he, guys, as soon as you get that love letter, relationships, the bridge you can drive the truck of truth over. So as soon as that person gives you the love letter, that you can go in. I remember, like, Tiffany, I remember you sharing so much. Like, we bonded like so fast. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I care about this person so much. I want to see her succeed and I want all this stuff, right? Because then you can have a real conversation with somebody. And then you can pre-qualify. Like, now you're close and now you have rapport. Now you can ask more questions, right? Because you don't know if they're going to be a good fit. Then you can say, I think I can help. This is one of my favorite lines. Dot, dot, dot. And then you hit send. Then you say, to know for certain, may I ask you a few questions? To know for certain, may I ask you a few questions? And then that person will say, what? They'll say, yes, absolutely. You can ask me a few questions because she's just given you the love letter. Okay. To know for certain, or to know, sorry, for sure, something along those lines, whatever your verbiage would be. To know for sure, may I ask you a few questions? And because you've built the rapport, what does she say, Hillary?
She'll say
Yes.
yes.
100%, guys, right? She'll say, I don't know how to get rid of this ruler here, Christian, if you could help me. She's going to say yes, right? She's going to say yes. And then you need to know what your questions are. What are your questions that you want to know, Hillary, before working for somebody or working with somebody? Like, what stage do they need to be at for you to work with them?
I mean, they would need to have a business they're trying to grow, and they're really looking for consistent systems that create, they're ready for systems that create consistent income.
Amazing, right? So that's where they're at. So then you could say, um, would you consider yourself and then blank, whatever that's going to be. So all of you here have people. Would you consider yourself so you might be a Christian coach who is earning, and then whatever that level is that you're at. So maybe they're earning less than 10K a month. And then she's going to say yes or no, right? If that person says, no, I'm not a Christian and I'm not a coach and I don't want to have a business, the fact that they said info, please, does it now even matter?
Mm-mm. They're not my person.
They're not your person, but you don't have to let go of them. You can say, I'd love to send you, some teaching and training, and you have them in your group and direct them to that, right? And get their email because they may end up knowing someone, guys, right? I've had people
Mhm.
who just been fans who just bring people, just say, "Oh, you've got to meet," right? That you want that as well. So that might be one of your questions. You might want to know from her, what is, what would you like your income to be at? And then whatever time frame that is for you with working with your person. Is it 6 weeks? Is it 1 year? What would you like your income to be at? And then they're going to say what they'd like it to be at. I like to say within, you've got to have a time frame. What would you
I
like
was,
your income to be at in 90 days or
yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say 90 days.
Right. So what would you like your income to be at in 90 days? And then let her say what it is. And then number 3, what would the next important thing? To me, it would be you want to bridge the gap. So between where she is, I'd say I would ask something along like what do you feel? Now, you want to kind of think, is this person a thinker or a feeler? So my thinkers, I'll say, what do you think? My
Okay, good. All
feelers,
right,
I'll say,
fantastic.
what do you think?
Okay,
So what do you think or what do you feel? So what do you think is your biggest obstacle?
Mm,
Because
that's a
you
good
want,
open-ended.
right, because these are your pre-qualifiers. You want to figure out, because another part of it, I've had people say, nothing. I'm great. And I'm just like, go, girl. You go be in your great delusional little party. Just go have your delusional party. We'll get little delusional hats made for you, right? But you can't work with somebody who's not coachable,
Mm-hmm.
right? If they think they're completely fine, then there's no room for anything in there. And it's
Mm-mm.
not your job. Remember, you want to go back to you're looking for clients who are problem aware, solution aware, you aware, and then over here they're now aware, which I call the holy ease of buying. They have to have all these things to be able to say yes to the sale, right? Problem aware. But it's not your job to teach them to be problem aware. You want people that are problem aware and solution aware already. And then now they're looking and they are like, oh, I found you and now I'm you aware. And you want to make sure that it's a now thing for them. So if you say, what do you feel is your biggest obstacle to getting to, and whatever that dollar amount is that she just said? Or, and for any of you here, this could be with any niche, right? If you're thinking about would you consider yourself a blank who does blank, what would you like to be at, right? So if it's relationship, if it's wealth, if it's health, you can say what would you like it to be at in x amount of time frame, and then you bridge the gap. Like what is your biggest obstacle? Because this is going to help so much in your early stages, but it'll also make you feel confident, Lauren, because you've done your research. When they start to say, what do you feel is your biggest obstacle? You want to see that what you offer in your PDF, what you offer in your offer, right, which is in your PDF in your course, are actually the things that they feel are obstacles, right? Like most people are looking for tactics, right? Because that's the lowest level. People think it's tactics or strategies, but all tactics and strategies need principles, and all those principles need a level of excellence,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I teach what I call the art of becoming, because I don't want any of you to arrive in your arena and like have all kinds of bad habits and just be people of tactics and strategy. I want you to be people of principles and excellence, right? So that's the meat and potatoes of your course. And you may not share that when you share your offer. You may talk more around strategy and tactics because that relates on the marketing level for your person, right? So
Mm-hmm.
she may say, oh, my biggest problem is time management. My biggest problem is I don't have money to get started. That's one of my favorite ones, which is hilarious. You don't need money to do anything. You need an offer. Money's not your problem. Your mindset's your problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's just in the way they're thinking. So listen to what she says. She will say, I need this, and I need this. And you want to see, well, are those the things that I'm thinking? But she's likely going to say, I need more leads. I need, I need a stream of hot leads. I'm going to need a process of converting those leads into sales. And I need to know how to set up or how to run my delivery of my program. But listen to what she may not even say any of those things, right? And most people think they have a lead problem, which is an attract problem, but they may have a conversion problem. So listen to what are the things that she's saying that she needs.
Okay.
And Hillary, don't go hide. When you don't understand something, when you feel uncomfortable, when you're growing, it's like a natural thing. We just want to hide from everybody till we're perfect. Anybody been there? Let's not do that, because you won't actually get there. You'll just be stuck. You'll just be stuck at one level. Okay. Hillary, what's your next steps?
Got quite a few. I'm going to make my magnet video. I'm going to invite 40 people into my group. I'm going to go message her and with my opener and a thank you, and just start that sell by chat. Those are my 3 top first things I'm going to do right after this call.
Amazing. Everybody cheer on Hillary. Go, Hillary, go. So proud of you. That's awesome. Okay. And report. So everybody's going to practice on their phone today to get the cobwebs of Christmas out of us. We're going to go on. You guys all know that I had my video team fly in at the beginning or the end of December to do all my content in one day, right? So I was like, I am not going to, just like let things drag on. I'm not in any way. I'm the kind of person though, I'm like ready to, even though I have my Christmas stuff still up, that's more because I love how it looks in my house. But I'm ready to get moving with the next thing. Okay. So excited for you, Hillary. Post in the group, do the video, ask for help, ask for help, ask for help. What are you going to do?
Ask for help.
Ask for help. You're like, you guys don't even see, all of you. You're like, you could be that close to having a $15,000 month. If your offer was 15,000, Hillary, and you said to her, well, I'm looking for this and blah, 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 and blah. And she's like, okay, I'm in. Why are you guys second guessing yourselves? Let's make a decision. We're not going to do that anymore. Okay, who else is on the call that I have not had a chance to chat with yet and has a question and is ready? Hillary, are you needing some help, love? I can see Nicole, Hillary, and Gary. Is Gary on the call? Yes. That are wanting some assistance. Who is next? Got to be fast, guys. Be fast, be ready, be armed, be dangerous.
Okay, I'll go.
All right, Nicole, come on in. All right, share some wins.
Okay, wins are, I'm so happy to be on this call. This is phenomenal. And I totally love the Bible SaaS Academy. Love it. I have started finding a rhythm. So there are things that I'm doing consistently, but I clearly see gaps. And so I definitely need to fill in some gaps here. But this call has been immensely helpful. Just I'm starting to become more aware and able to receive what you're saying, and be able to see it and see where I can get a lot better.
Well, I'm so proud of you, because one thing I was talking to a Christian about this morning is, as soon as you have awareness, then you can create an intention.
True.
As soon as you have an intention, you can create a decision. And as soon as you create a decision, you can create the discipline to make it actually happen.
That's good.
But they have to go in that order. So you've got that, you're like aware. So what are you feeling are the gaps that you are aware of that we can set an intention for and make some decisions and create some discipline?
Definitely the messaging. So Pepper is running, sending out the message, sending out the friend requests, sending out the messages to the people that are friends. I'm not consistently going back in there and seeing who responded and responding. And sometimes if I don't know, like, ooh, how do I respond to this? I won't ask like in the group, or I won't just go and ask like, oh, how would you respond to this? And go, I delay, and my delay turns into forgetfulness. And then that person, so the next day, more things are coming in. And so then there has to be a lot of housekeeping. So I think
Yes.
I'm,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so one thing right away, everybody have your tracker.
Okay.
Have your tracker, and in the day, as soon as you start the day, you go, okay, I'm starting, 100 chats today, or whatever you're going to be doing, 20, 40, 50, 100. Say I'm going to do Pepper ran and I've got 50 people waiting, and then I'm going to add manually 25 more. I'm going to start those chats, get them sent out. Okay. So you're starting that system, and then you're going to put all those names in your tracker. Okay. So you could use that in Pepper. You can use the tracker that we have for you, but put all those people in that you're doing. Next thing that would work really well, and I did this, so I'm on day 270 for Spanish, 270 days in a row. And in the beginning, I had an alarm go off, and the alarm just ticked me off so much. It was like this goofy kid alarm, and it sang this terrible song. I was like, what is that? Oh, yeah, it's time to do Spanish. And I would just make myself until it became part of my daily, right? When I teach the $1,000,000 daily, it's so that you guys get brainwashed. You've got to brainwash yourself during this time. Okay. So it's like your old habits of whatever they used to be. I know you're not sitting on the couch eating cookies, but like whatever those habits are, they're just like, they all have to change. Right. Because right now your time's going to be filled up with getting these systems and structures in place. I'm doing the chats, I'm doing the calls, we're booking the 10-minute calls, I'm doing a strategy call, I'm creating content, I'm doing a Bible study, I'm going to my next thing. Okay, I'm taking 15-minute walk. Okay, I'm going to do this. And you're going to find new ways of resting, new ways of doing things. You're going to see where you misuse your time, right? You'll just start to see. So I would recommend that you set up a timer.
Okay.
That's like 4 times a day. And that alarm goes off, and you're like, well, okay, then it's time to do that thing. And then you'd go into and making sure right at the end of the day, and then you dial back and you see where people are at. So the timer will really help, guys. The tracker really helps, and to keep the $1,000,000 daily right in front of you, like right there, so that you can see what you have to do until, again, I can wake you up in the middle of the night and say, how many chat starts? How many people did you invite? How many all of that, so that you know it so well. So those things have to be in stone. And then it comes down to the practicality of the chats. So go back over Sell by Chat training, watch it and watch it and watch it. Like when I'm learning a new skill set, I will literally, and I would do this when I led worship. I would listen to a song like 100 times till it was in my spirit, because I would do prophetic worship. So sometimes it would be like at the end of the song, I would go into, singing in tongues and giving an interpretation of something. And so I knew that if I didn't meditate, you want to meditate on this. So it's in you, that you start to go, wow, like I understand rapport building. I understand the chat process. I understand the questions I have to ask. Okay. So that would be the next. It's just like rewatch, get that in your spirit is how that works. But you are not doing it in a vacuum. You're making sure that it's like action, action, action. Everything is implementation. One of the biggest mistakes I find is that people do the chats, and this is me included in this, is you do the welcome, you say, I help. You do the welcome, you say, I help, you say, do you want this thing? And then they say yes. Then you ask for their email. Then they give it to you. Then you post your content from your group, which is usually your 3 steps to something. And then you forget all about them. That's usually where people let things fall down. But at that point, if you can then make sure you ask the next question, right? Like curious, what would that look like? Like whatever your thing is, what would you like blank to be like by blank? Right? So it has to have an outcome that's really clear and also has to have a time frame. And listen to what they say, right? So we went back up here to the pre-qualifiers.
Mhm.
If you're also feeling like there's not a lot of warmth or and nothing's happening, you have to pay attention to that because again, relationships the bridge you can drive the truck of truth over. You want to build the rapport with the person so that they feel that they can share and land their truths with you. Okay? So, what are some of the questions? Have you worked out some questions, Nicole?
Not my pre-qualifiers. I don't know if this is, yeah, it's not predetermined. It seems that I am reading what they say and then asking from there, but that's not duplicatable.
But it's okay, like right, because you're
Okay.
not going to get duplicatable yet till you've done enough sales
Okay.
from the chats, right? Duplicatable
Okay.
happens once you have proof of concept and your minimum viable product and cash flow coming in. The cash tells you that it's working. That's the
Oh,
sign. Cash tells you that what you're doing is working. So it's okay if so let's say if she does a love letter, you don't want to just go on to your next thing in chat. People will feel really like not heard, right? To be like if I was just talking to you, Nicole, I'm like, yeah, I did this and this, and I met this person. It was really cool. And oh, blah, 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 and I got my hair done and whatever, stuff like that. And you don't mention anything. Like we
I
all feel
see.
super not like I hate those moments with people. In fact, I don't even want to be around people like that. Right. So you want to, if she says all this stuff about her life, then you can pick something or send her a voice message,
Okay.
right? To say, hey girl, like I hear you, I totally understand. So you want to normalize, you want to thank her. Often I'll say, thanks so much for your vulnerability. Like, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for sharing about your life with me. And then, so you want to acknowledge what she has said. You want to, you don't want to allow that person to stay in their excuse, right? So you don't want to be like, oh, it's okay that this, like, and try to make somebody feel better about the thing that they actually want freedom from.
Okay.
But you want to normalize what they're going through. Say, like, just be like, and I don't say things like, 3 out of 5 of my clients, like, I just don't talk like that. Like, just be relational with your people. People don't really care about all that stuff. I know we think they do, but they care about how people care how well we love them. That's just straightforward as it gets. Right? So if you send that voicemail, now she feels seen, heard, loved, and then you can ask hard questions. Send the voicemail, then you can send a question. Again, go back to your pre-qualifiers, curious, what are your, where would you like to be, fitness wise, or is losing weight or defining your muscles more important to you right now? This or that questions are very good.
I have found that they get more responses for sure.
But you do want people to move on from that. And
Okay.
you do need to have the love letter. Everyone here, you must have a love letter. If you're trying to avoid the love letter, you're avoiding a sale.
Okay.
Okay, does that help, Nicole?
Yes,
So
it does.
I would dial back. So dial back, rewatch the cell by chat.
Okay.
Take a look at where do I drop off in the chats,
Oh, that's good. Okay.
right? Like go back to them. And I would even take the time, go into the tracker and go, I'm just gonna list the last 40 chats. I'm gonna take a look at what that looked like.
Okay.
And then make a commitment to set your timer. You're gonna do it
Mm-hmm.
4 times and it just I know it feels a bit boring, but um honestly, like I used to have a thing on my wall that said rituals hem in our prayers.
Ooh.
And I had it in my laundry room and it sounds boring, but like to me, I like to do pizza night every Friday night. It's not because I love pizza. I want people to know Like, for example, this morning I woke up and there was a Christmas present for me on my makeup table in my bathroom. Like, I have a little office set up and a coffee set up in my bathroom where I can think and write content. And it was this beautiful Starbucks cup, and there was like lip glosses and chocolates and just other little cute things. I was like, wow, that's very sweet. And I was like trying to guess who it was from. And my husband said, oh, it's from Tad, Phoebe's friend. My daughter Phoebe's going to be 25 this year. Tat was a kid who came every Friday to pizza night and just hung out with us.
Oh,
Right? So rituals hem in our prayers. And so having some of these rituals, when you have a job and you work for somebody else, you kind of do their thing all day and you make dinner and you get ready for the next day and you do it all over again. That's sort of the life people have lived for the last 50 years. When you're an entrepreneur, you're hanging your hat on your signature anointing and connecting to your signature client, because all of the money that you want is in somebody else's bank account right now.
mm,
And you only want that transfer if the problem they have is the solution you provide. And the only way you're going to figure that out, everyone here, is the chats. There isn't a silver bullet. There isn't an email bullet, a Facebook ad bullet. There isn't a bullet where just you don't have to do chats. And let's be real, like, if we're avoiding connecting and asking questions with people, what's going on for us? I want to get better. I want to get better as a human. And the more interaction, the more people, I'm going to get better. The more training I do, the better I get. So fix it on a schedule for a season till it's so in you, just like your workouts, Nicole.
mm.
Keep it in you, just like it's your workouts. And then eventually you're going to be like, when you're ready for 4 minutes of plank. Because like 2 minutes of plank, you're going, this is seeming a little easy for me. Right?
Right.
So you want to get to that with the chats where you're like, okay, I'm ready for other platforms. I've got this down. I'm managing it. I'm collecting the number of leads, the to love list. I'm getting back to people each day, and I'm booking the calls from there. Okay. You
Okay.
want to keep it going till you book that call. Right.
Okay.
So we can dial into some, but get enough done that you could show me some on screen for next week. Sound good?
Okay. Yep. Thank you.
You bet you. All right, Gary's in the house. Happy New Year, Gary.
Yes, Happy New Year, Coach Heaven.
Good to
You look
see
well.
you.
Yeah, it's been a busy time with my fundraising and everything, and getting ready, promoting this January 24th Executive Masterclass,
Awesome.
which has been a huge challenge, honestly. Conversion is not happening, and I'm doing everything that I know. And I know you're going to say, well, it's just do a 10-minute call instead, and I'm offering that as well.
Okay. So something's fallen apart. So let's figure out what it is. Okay. Because you
Thank you.
have a clear outcome. You have the masterclass for them to attend, right? Are you adding 50 people a day in Pepper?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, my team is, and I don't know exactly the numbers, and Rosa does her thing. And then, I mean, honestly, most of these prospects in the Facebook are probably not the right avatar for this executive masterclass, which is, Christian business leaders with a team. So if they are, then yes, Rosa will connect me with them.
Okay. So
But
let's
right
take a
now we're
different approach
pursuing
then. If
just with Rosa doing this.
Mm-hmm. And Rosa's not on the call, correct? Rosa, you're not here?
No, she's
Okay.
doing a workshop.
Okay, no worries. I would tell your team that this call with me until you guys are in boardroom, which is going to be soon, is a non-negotiable. I want you guys to
I'm sorry, say
see.
it again. So what?
No, but like them being on the call with you is a non-negotiable part of your business. Like they have to be here on the call, whatever time whether you're in boardroom, VIP, or here, they can't miss it. It has to be. This is oxygen for your business, guys.
Yeah.
I can tell you in like seconds what you guys could go around mountains for years, and I'm not even exaggerating. I know for sure. So the having the metrics from Chris and having the feedback about the triage calls would be a fuller picture for me,
No,
right?
I have
Like
all
to
that.
build up.
We just did all that.
You
Absolutely.
did. Okay. And so how many like opt-ins or new people are you having come into your world in a week?
Well, let me just grab my file here. I can tell you very briefly, just the high numbers. Um, and we've set some goals. Uh, sorry, just trying to locate it exactly.
That's okay. While you're locating it, have you guys brainstormed about like just gone through and looked up and gone, okay, these are the top 100 Christian businesses that have the target market of people we'd like to work with?
Yeah, well, we're looking at a whole bunch of things. Chris says he's looking at business pages and Facebook, uh, and so yeah, him and Rosa are very intentional about improving the groups that we are identifying and interacting with. So
I'm
um,
just thinking in general, like you are a brilliant man and you have lots of connections. Like if you were just to make a list of, when you think about your avatar, your ideal person, your ideal company with this small team,
yep,
you could probably just like, I don't want to use the word phone book because there's people on this call probably never seen one before. But like when you think about back to phone book world, right? Just thinking about like you could probably make a list of companies that you would like to work, you'd like to be their
yeah,
consultant.
I have that list for sure.
Right. And so let's old school it,
I am. I'm
right?
making phone calls. I'm making follow-up texts. I'm making emails. I'm doing all that normal promotional marketing.
Okay. Are these people all within your jurisdiction, like of where you roughly live? Or are they
Yeah,
all
they are.
over?
They're in Southern Ontario. Yep,
Okay. I'm just trying to think outside the box on
yep.
this, right? What if you were to host, some kind of coffee or luncheon and invite business owners too?
You mean a face-to-face one?
Yeah.
Uh, yes, yep, for sure.
It doesn't have to be this month, but I'm just saying, like, say if you had it for March or something like that, or whenever you're thinking, um, just you're so personable. Another part might be too, is that, and this is for everyone listening as well, is that when we're doing our content, we want to make sure that there's very much a nurture, 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 ask rhythm, right? You will see if you read my content, you will see like some days it's like I will talk about things that have nothing to do, right? Which is more like and I say like your triangle model of what you teach plus your EQ, the emotional quotient, because people buy emotionally, they back it up logically. You need to have both. So tell me about your content, Gary. Do you find that every time you're doing something, it's the here's my thing and this is what I'm doing? Or are there lots of pieces that are about lifestyle or about some of the problems people have or a rant or you're just making
Yep.
yourself appear likable and approachable?
So in that regard, I've just purchased someone to create these customized for me. Someone in India, she's doing a great job, and they've drawn better, so they're less promoting the directly in the subject line, etc., the executive master class, and they're just asking some provocative questions about business and 2025 and future and vision and things such as that. So that's drawn much better. And so the series of 5 of those we're using until the 24th. Also
But you
the
need to have things that aren't that in between.
say what?
Like if everything, right? Like if you go to just look at some of my content, some of my things will be about, like today I wrote about how I don't like the word leads. Like talk about topics that you write about and talk about your story as an entrepreneur. Like there needs to be some other things in there, not just everything about the business, the business, the business, right? It's like playing middle C. You want to have other musical
Yep.
notes that people go, oh, I love this guy. Because
Yes.
often, again, your people buy emotionally and they back it up logically. If all you have is info, 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 come to my thing, here's more info, info, they tune it out.
Yes, they are. And I'm marketing to my list of 1,000 emails. So that's where I'm marketing the email list and my phoning and my follow-ups and yeah. That's like I'm not using Facebook for this marketing at all.
But even my emails, right? So I send an email probably
Okay.
every day. I think my team is supposed to do it every day. It's
Yes.
roughly 3 to 5 times a week. But there will be seasons, right? Like once I start promoting the $1 Million Day challenge, that it's a paid challenge. And so there's going to be a series of emails, but then there's also going to be some other stuff in there that connects their heart to me
Mm-hmm.
so they don't tune it out. What could you create in your content that's a little bit more EQ? Do you have something about your story, Gary?
Sure. I just did a 20-minute LinkedIn Live last Friday with no one attending, so I'm going to cut pieces of that up and and there's some good pieces in there, my story and some other pieces about purpose and about so yeah, I mean clearly I'm heavy on just the business side and light on the relationship, heart speaking
Yeah,
side.
like and speak to that CEO or that founder, right? Like I have one where I'm talking about where I was like lying on the floor and I was
Mm,
hiding under the table
saw
and
that.
my husband's like, "Who are you hiding from?" I was like, "I'm hiding from them," right? Like what
The
is the
kids.
right? Like everybody's going to say, "What's for dinner?" I'm like, "Ah!" Right? Like what's the thing your founder is in that position that they read it and go, "Oh my gosh, this is so me. He gets me." You want your person. So, good marketing, Gary, is being able to get in the brain of your prospect and speak as though you're them. Right? So it needs to be where the person go, he understands me. Right? All of you on this call here felt that connection, not just the solution I provided, but there was a connection of she gets me and I want to spend time with her. You want, Gary, your person to feel that way. And guys, again, when it's not working for us, it's working on us. But if we don't lean into the working on us process, we stay in that longer. So
So
there may be things for you, Gary, that there's a working on
yeah.
that's not brought new content to the surface or brought a change inside of you that can bring the tangible change on the outside of your business.
Yes. Yeah. So um this has forced me this lack of only two registrants after tons of work and a couple $100 and revamping things and a new landing page, etc. It's challenged my faith, but it's caused me to come back to my faith and just choose to believe and continue to take daily action. But varying it up makes sense. I do have a specific question with a
Yes,
specific
go ahead.
lead. So a president of an insurance brokerage, we've been dialoguing for a while. He was trying to attend the last one, he couldn't, etc. And I follow up every few weeks, and because we're going to offering a 10-minute call, and this last one I did. I asked him, so what was the area of interest to you? Was it about strategy for the year? Was it about developing your leaders? Was it about enhancing your team and your culture? Or was it about producing a purpose-driven kingdom business? And asking that question, and for his reply, and I don't get anything. I just get he's read the message, the email. So either I'm way off with where my headspace is compared to what they're actually thinking. So do you have any
Or they
insight?
don't feel like you have enough rapport with them yet.
I've got a lot of report with this guy. His
Okay.
mother passed away. We had email exchanges about that. I think. I mean, in contrast to he's not a anyway.
Right. So if you have rapport, right? Again, people who have relationship with you, like if you ask me 3 questions, I have a relationship with you. So if I didn't like any of the 3 questions, I would still respond in a way because I'm having a conversation with you. I'm being relational. Right? So it could be just, he could be just super busy. He
Yeah,
reads it
could
and
be.
he's like, oh my goodness. And then he goes to his next thing. Just like Nicole was talking, like she's like, oh yeah, I missed that whole to even get back to somebody. So you could even pop back in or put like, even just putting, are you in LinkedIn with this person, or is it Facebook, or is it email?
Um, yeah, I'll double check. Well, email has been our communication channel.
Is mostly right. So if it's chat, you can put a funny GIF, right? Like Tom Hanks, out with his, basketball, talking to his basketball on the island is very funny. Like just things that are keep it light. You want to always just err on the side of grace, err on the side that they're a busy person doing good things, right?
Yes, yes.
Um, but if you have a relationship with the guy and you've talked to him on the phone, what prevents
No,
you
I've never had a
from,
phone. It's just always been
okay,
email.
just email. Okay. Um, so so I would just hop right to, like, just don't, just bypass it. Say, I'd love to, hey, Tom, I'd love to hop on a quick call to see if or how I could best help you. If we felt like it was a great fit on the call, then we could book a business audit call down the road, or whatever you call your call.
I've offered
And
that 3 times and he's
and
not
what did he
responded.
say? And he's not responded.
Correct.
So why did you do it two more times after he didn't respond the first time?
Because
Like,
I'm
why did you just,
persistent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you want it, we don't ever want to come across, we always want to, meet them where they're at. So I wouldn't do it three times. So if I do it once and they don't respond, I would do a funny GIF or send a voice message that's something warm, right? So I have like a little GIF of me, and then I usually send like a kiss or a praying sign. If it's a guy, praying sign, if a kiss, if it's a woman, and something warm to just kind of just lighten everything back up
Yep.
again,
Good.
right?
Yep.
So something in there to get it. But honestly, because your relationship, you could just call and chat with him,
Yeah,
and
I've left messages.
nothing.
No,
So
the only thing I
he
get back is he's read my email because I get the automatic. I ask him to click the
right. So
right, yeah.
he may feel like you're being salesy, which is funny because he's a salesperson. But if you're
Yeah, I
saying,
am
"Hey, I'd love
salesy.
to,"
That's true. I am.
right? You don't want to be salesy, Gary. You sell by bringing a solution to the people that have that problem, but you only do it in terms of permission based, right? So always wait for that invitation. You want that to feel like a tension of them thinking like, ask me, ask me. And I know some of you felt like that too. Some of you I did lean in more, but that, you got a feeling of like there's tension here. Like, ask me. I'd love to meet. I'd love to connect. I'd love to know more. You want to have that good tension for them to know more, right? So he may be turned off if you've been just had the pedal to the metal with connecting with him.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, I've done sales where I've never mentioned anything, Gary. You could call this guy and say, hey, Joe, I'd really love to go out for lunch with you. Could you meet Tuesday at blah, blah, blah. And then just ask him about, about his life, about his family, about his business, but not in a way that feels like rapid fire interrogation. And then wish him the best, and then don't even talk about anything. Now, that may not be your way. That was my old school way. I'd go to things, or I'd take people out to do different things, or go play golf, or whatever you want to do to build relationship. But there's a piece missing here where they feel that you're very relational. We've got to build that portion up.
Yep.
Again, relationship's the bridge you can drive the truck of truth over. If you drive the truck of truth over, the truck's going to fall into the lake,
Yep.
right? Because you don't have, I'm always looking for ways I can bless and help people, because then I have grace in a bank account that if I ever have to make a withdrawal, they're like so happy that for me to do that because I have poured into them so much. All right. So pull back, ask your team, ask other people, and just say, like, are you feeling like I'm coming on too strong?
Yep.
Right? Like, don't ask the insurance guy, but like the people around you. Because if they're feeling, here's the irony about sales. You make lots of sales if people feel like you don't need the sale.
Hmm.
If people feel like you need the sale, they don't want to feel that they're like they almost feel used, right? I'm not saying that's you, Gary. I'm just saying like there is when we that's why I say gentle gloves. When we hold things lightly, like that's why I say if or how I can best help. But if you
Yeah.
send that message 3 times and the person is still, they may just be steering away from that. Another part is that Gary, like just get your numbers up of your leads,
Yes, yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like reach out to, and connect with, like there's high level, like if you're looking for high level people, think about you could go to dealerships that are like all like Bentleys and Mercedes and Porsche and
Well, I'm looking for
Jaguar.
Christian owned, but so that's the
Yeah, I know of some.
filter.
Yeah. Bima's auto repair shop. Like there's lots of places that are Christian owned and connect with them. You can go through the Shepherd's Guide.
Yeah, I'm doing that through 3 different Christian business directories.
Yeah.
Yep.
But just you could have a draw for something. Like people who come in to have their Bentley or their whatever done, right? Have a draw for it. They may own a company for something. It's worth it, Gary. Stop thinking in
So
terms of cost and think in
a,
terms of
a
investment.
dealership, as an example, I might convince a dealership to have a draw for their customers for something of value from me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. I probably won't do that for this one, but perhaps in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, but think of when you're talking, you don't have to be talking about the thing all the time.
Well, so if I'm making a perhaps you can give me some guidelines on this. So I'm making a prospecting call, and I've left messages previously about our executive master class. I'm going to follow up again here. What would you suggest?
I think your people are thinking that you're wanting to get them to something so you can sell them something
Mhm.
instead of just asking them the granular questions on how they're doing, right? Like if you're just leaning in to say like, just more questions about about how their business is doing once you've built that rapport. Like make sure you got heavy rapport.
I mean, these are voice messages. I'm getting no response, or these are emails after the voice message
Yeah.
primarily.
Then create content that has more EQ in it, that has about your story, that doesn't sound like LinkedIn jargon, that it sounds like I really care about your family and your business and your team thriving this year. I'm not saying
Hmm.
you don't sound like you do, right? Like I will have something about the reason why you're not scaling to this is this, and it's very, very, very direct. But I do that once a week. Everything else will be pictures of me jumping off a cliff, talking about hiding under the table from my children, like things that are relatable. If your person, if you look too polished, people don't feel like they can trust you.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you look like you have it all together, which is again, this is contrary to what most people think, right? Like, yes, you want to have, obviously, you don't want to be like a total nightmare and a mess if you're running a business. I don't mean that, but I'm meaning if you don't share your vulnerability and share parts of the things that aren't great, they don't feel as much trust about the things that are great.
So I understand in principle, even though, like, if someone's calling me and asking, and I don't even know them, I like, and this is maybe just my style and my resistance. I'm not going to respond. So I'm thinking, well, why would they respond if I wouldn't respond? So clearly,
Yes, this is your blockage.
yeah.
Right. You're putting up the wall. It's just like Lauren. Lauren, if somebody's messaging her, thinks they might want to get something from her, they're trying to sell something to her. So she's starting to put that spin on her own self messaging people. Whereas I'm not difficult to sell to. So I know that I don't want to attract those kind of people into my world. So the way that you buy is the way that you will sell. So look at some of those things for yourself, your belief systems, what you think. And you may be trying to dodge the vulnerability bullet. You may be trying to avoid that in the whole picture of creating your content and your connection with people.
Well, actually, I think I'm fine with being vulnerable.
And you're writing about it in content. You can pull up things where you talk about yourself being in a place that wasn't as good.
Yep.
Okay. Right. So
So it's still, in terms of actually, and so we're going to wrap up here, I know. I guess,
are your people reading it?
yeah, so it's increased since I've had these paid written emails, and they're, yes. And so we have 170 landing page visits since we started. 130 of them went to the registration link, and we've only had 2 register. So we've minimized the information required on the registration pop-up, and we're reformatting by this Saturday the whole landing page to make it more conversion. So in terms of them landing, yeah, we had 40% open rates and I don't know, 10% click-through rates, whatever it was. Um, so it's okay.
And do you
Uh,
have yourself recorded and going live talking about things other than inviting people to the masterclass?
yeah, like I did 20-minute LinkedIn Live, which was talking about just some key pieces of strategy for 2025. Beyond that, no, I have not done anything more personally, which would just be on LinkedIn or Facebook. It's not me connecting with my avatar
Yeah, but
directly.
just other parts of your life,
So I'm trying to
right?
get rid of.
So it can be in any part. It can be about, buying a house in BC. It can be about, just like look at the components. This everybody on the call, all the components about your life, right? I wrote about being a single mom with all these kids because I had my person was like, I'm a single mom too. Tell me how, help me. Like they liked that I was honest, right? Like I will share, but then there's like I'm well educated, so I talk about that part. I like it's okay. Embrace the whole picture of you, Gary, and find ways that you can add more flavor and nuance to the whole picture. Because if it's just middle C, like here's a strategy,
Yes,
here's a solution, here's the answer, here's my 3 business concepts, people tune it out after a while.
yes.
And they don't feel like they can trust somebody who doesn't have, that part of it. Like, if somebody has like ADHD or somebody has like a child who, like, I often, like the 5 kids I had adopted years ago, they all had autism and all had, one time, one of the kids got suspended from school and then got kicked out of every school in the region. But writing about it, my other moms who were like, man, I've got a special needs kids too. Like, how are you doing this? They wanted to hear from me. So don't leave out parts about Gary because then your person, they want to trust you, they want to know you, they want to know some parts about that part of you, not just your business model.
So can I one last thing? So thank you. This is
Yeah, of
always
course.
good. And I'm not desiring to come across closed if I
No, no,
am.
no. I don't
Okay.
feel like you're closed, Gary.
Okay.
You're professional. I'm professional too. And it was a bit of a switch for me to go from brick and mortar office to online into, so I'm coming at it from I've changed to be more vulnerable and share about all kinds of sides of my life.
Well, in that context, I think I'd probably talk about the challenges of being a spiritual business leader for myself. That's probably what I think would they could connect to, um, and some of the challenges in reaching goals, for example. So I think that's what I would land on at the moment for that element.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So lean into some of these things. I feel like you're going having some of that content out there. You're going to feel super happy to see people respond to that. But guys, it's in the magic is in the chats. If you do 4 hours of sell by chat a day, you will have more than enough. It's in the chats, it's in the chats, it's in the chats, it's in the chats. And then if you don't know what to put in the chats, ask. Okay. And have things to send to people. You could even have an EQ thing, Gary, in there with like a video that's made about you. Like one of the things that we did that I haven't posted any of this yet because it's all fresh. Nicole's seen some of it. Christian and I shared about our love story. and we had it recorded. And, just hearing some of that, it was so beautiful to talk about it. So, some of the things that are about you, do you walk your dog every day? Do you go to a gym? Is there a coffee shop? Where do you work when you're not working at home? Like all those little pieces that people want to know about process. They like to see it. So, sharing a little bit about some of that stuff, not just like finished outcome, because I think your person has tried a lot of traditional things and they're not working for them.
But my client,
Your client.
prospect client.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. So show them different sides of you. You're
Yeah.
funny, you're classy, you've got a great voice. You could do some funny things and funny reels. And maybe your person isn't funny at all. But if your person has humor, if it has dry humor, like show up with that, because that is the very thing that's going to bond them to you. It isn't the lead magnets, guys. I know everybody is like, oh, it's all the lead. Yes, of course you want them to opt in, but you want to get them in, you want to hook, but then you want them to stay, and they stay by relationship and rapport building and seeing the sides of you that isn't perfect. That's what connects your person to you.
Okay.
Sound good?
So my last thing is I have an opinion on this. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing some complimentary journey of generosity. It's a whole generous giving workshop. It's all systematized. All I do is learn it and facilitate it. And it's designed to help people increase their heart to give to the kingdom. So that's part of my calling. I'm going to be doing that three or four of those this year. And so I don't know if that aligns with anything you've just suggested in terms of wider.
Yeah, like I mean, you could definitely combine it, but I would get some feedback from the people around you and say, like, do you feel like I always have an agenda when I'm talking to you? Do you feel like I am salesy, and do you feel like I'm holding it lightly to really assess whether or not this is for you? Do you guys see the
I'm sure the
difference?
answer would be yes. I'm sure it would be.
Okay. So then ask them, like, how do you feel like I could, change some of that so that you genuinely feel that I'm holding it at a distance. Like, Gary, I'm somebody who knows what I want all the time, but I have learned, because I know that it's hard to be relational with my kids or my friends or my husband or anybody if I always know exactly what I want. Like, I genuinely do. So I've just had to, like, hold it lightly and lean into asking them, like, no, where would you guys really like to go, and to really listen to what they would like to do, instead of it just being. And it's a great thing about being a leader, right? Because people don't want to follow somebody who doesn't know where they're going. But hold it a little bit away from yourself so that you can create a space where they feel safe, that they could share something, because they may not want to share with you if they're feeling like, no matter if they said X, Y, P, or N, that you're going to say, this is my solution. And they don't want to feel like that. I've turned people away. I've genuinely said, I don't feel like this is the right fit. And they trusted me because they were like, wow, like, she said that. I can't believe she even said that. So you want your person to feel that it's safe enough that you can have a conversation, as you're assessing, not impressing, and it's not salesy. You're really assessing if they're a good fit. And if you feel like they're a good fit, you'll make the invitation for them to join.
So in that regard, I've been interviewing people for their Kingdom Business Principles. That's been going really well. It's a great way for me to engage a brand new prospect. And then I develop a deep relationship. And so that approach has been working. So maybe I'll think about the principles of that approach and how I can apply them.
Yes, think about that, but also it has to do with your own mindset, right? Like, if our mindset on sales is that we must, go at it in a certain way, then it's hard for us to switch gears. So some renewing of your mind, like, go over the sales process again, the sell by chat training that I have, to start to renew your mind, to think, okay, the sale occurs, in that moment when it is the perfect fit for somebody to be a part of it, right? You don't want to be salesy or even be like talking and framing it in such a way. We don't know, like Hillary was talking, we don't know enough information about somebody. We cannot already say, this is my prescription. You want to make sure that they feel that they're being heard the whole step along the way. And you're really carefully considering if you think it would be a good fit. There's times I know right away with somebody, but I use holy restraint. And I still ask the questions and go through the process with them. Does that make sense?
Coach Evan, thank you so much. Appreciate you and your heart and your expertise and your love and your service.
You bet. It's an honor to serve you, Gary. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on for so long. And it was so good today. I love to hear from you. I love, 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 love all the goodness and all the good things that you share. Nicole, do you want to close this out in prayer, love?
Of course. Dear God, thank you so much for this time that we've had together. Thank you so much for blessing us so richly. Thank you for Coach Heaven, her whole team, her family, all of her experiences that she gets to pour out, and that we will receive them as gifts for your good, for your glory, and that we become better stewards of the things that you have given us, and that we can better serve the people that you have placed around us. Lord, I pray that you give us brave, courageous hearts for you, and that we will reach out and connect to everyone that you have waiting for us, that are also on the other end praying for the solutions that you have deposited into our hearts, that we will step up and answer the call, Lord. I pray that you will continue to bless us and be with us, that we feel your presence, and that we continue to grow and go through those uncomfortable moments, knowing that you are getting us ready for what is waiting for us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Full
Love
agreement.
you guys.
Amen.
Have a fantastic rest of your week. Remember, everybody's to do a video with their next steps and to ask for help with whatever they're needing help with. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Much love. Bye for now. I mute and say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.